Okay, so let's just preface the video with saying it's 3 a.m. My computer's completely died, so I'm on a backup, and it's been an awful, frustrating resetting that. And so what that means is that at the moment I hate this project and I'm ashamed of it. But here's the documentation for it so that I can finish editing it and go to sleep. Basically what we have is I was looking at the zoetropes, and there's something called a praxinoscope that is essentially the same thing where you're looking through a slit and then at a mirror on the inside, and that mirror is reflecting the same kind of rotating image. Part of the idea for what we're looking at here then is just what if we take that, and then you can see here on my little camera, oh, what is that? There's some servo noises happening. What? Well, okay, we've hooked up a little webcam there in the box. It's the hole on the bottom that's reading into P5.js, right? Using the face tracker and then sending that over to the Arduino to control this little servo. And then there's like a pocket mirror from Walgreens, basically, because that's what I could get my hands on, that has a little bit of a magnification, like 3 times zoom. And then that is on some little 3D printed mounts for servos in them to give that mirror 2 axes of rotation, which is the calculation that you can see being drawn on my face. And so right about here-ish should be center. It's the webcam gets knocked around, but then the idea for this would be is that if I like hold my face center in here, then I can see the mirror, and if I don't move that very much, then when I turn my head, the mirror will show me an image of basically an animation, little praxinoscope animation of what position my head is at and what I'm looking in. There's some Arduino giblets right there and a random LED, because part of the thing with the praxinoscope and why that would look animated is because there's a little bit of a strobe effect happening. Currently, it is reading the exact calculation of what this angle on my, from like the center of my head to my nose is. And that's what's moving the camera. But ideally, if my head was stable, and then, you know, you could just map that to say, okay, if my head's somewhere like looking between like 10 and 20 degrees, then it will show me the correct image. And then you could turn off that light, like strobe it, whenever the servo moves, so that it would appear to have kind of a more fluid animation thing. I've also kind of created a fun UI where it's just, you use your nose as a pointer. I don't know what that does for us. Yeah, sure. Okay, anyways, here's some of my thoughts about the project. It is way too easy for me to move my head out of frame and be cheating at where I'm looking. Like, I have to actively keep my face looking at this screen to make sure that I'm centered and not trying to go like this to see more of the space inside the box. Well, it's also what happens is that this mirror, as you can see, kind of gets to some points where you can't really see all that much of it. Huh. You know, that's pretty out of frame. I assume that if that was a smaller mirror and it was blacked out in the box, that might do something. This is at a scale where I can pretty much only see 1 frame at a time. It's also because the mirror is kind of elevated out on a bit of a strut from the servo that's rotating. I think that that is a lot more of what is making it move out of that circle, like, viewport frame. Also, this thing is clunky and huge. I feel like with a mirror with better zoom and actually modeling everything out first, that it could go better and could be scaled down. Also, possibly better servo motors, because I am surprised that this thing has not torn itself to shreds. When thinking about this project, I wasn't really thinking so much about capture. I think I was thinking more about animation, and it is live animation, but it's more reanimating something than it is capturing something, like more like translating, I guess. I don't know, I think that this is a fun little bit of animation. When I was doing the sewing machine, like the embroidery machine animation for drawing with machines, the takeaway that I had from that is that it made me really angry, because it's like, why would you make something out of textiles and then you can't touch it? That's one of the things that really annoys me about animation the most, is that you get all of these like nice little living things and then they only exist on a computer screen. So I think that there is a real plus side to having a like actually kind of like tactile or built animation thing like this. I see this as essentially just a little prototype for it, and it is gross and janky and ugly. Thank you.